Okay, so hello everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Ricky's Reviews, where today we're going to be covering a horror film that came out pretty recently that is based off of a pretty popular video game series. And I mean, if you've read the thumbnail, then you already know what we're going to do. And if you've read the title of the video, you also know what we're going to do. But, you know, it is what it is. Today we are covering, drumroll please, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Now, I covered the first Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which came out in 2023, back on the channel in October of last year because it was around Halloween time, and I knew the sequel was coming out in December of that year, so I figured, hey, why not, let's just cover this, so, you know. And I did really like that first movie, but today we're going to be talking about the second film. Now, this movie was directed by Emma Tammy, the lady who directed the first Five Nights at Freddy's movie, and this came out in December of 2025 and follows the premise such as Josh Hutcherson's character of Mike is still trying to go about his, I guess you could say, day-to-day life of being just a guy that's trying to not be one that's getting absorbed by his trauma of things that have happened to him in the past, and especially the stuff that happened to him while he was working a job at the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. Meanwhile, during all this, his sister, Abby, is still obsessed with these animatronics and is trying to get back to them in any way, shape, or form that she can by either building robots that look like them or finding the strange tablet that allows her to talk to them and tries to help her find her way back to these animatronics from the first film. And meanwhile, all of that goes horribly wrong, as you would assume in a horror film and a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Meanwhile, being mixed in with other random characters, a strange brother, and a lot more mayhem than the first movie. But yeah, that's really all I'm going to say for plot, because I do want you guys to watch this movie for yourself, because I'm not, my channel isn't supposed to be a substitute for watching movies, it's just supposed to be covering them and getting my opinions out on them so that you can go and watch them if you want to watch them. So, again, I always do encourage you to watch the movies for yourself. But yeah, let's just get into likes and dislikes and what I generally thought about the movie. Okay, so to start it off for likes, I will say that this movie does a much better job of increasing the tension, the horror, and the kills upon the first movie. Because this one, honestly, I watched this one in theaters the day it came out, and some of the kills actually surprised me, because I thought, wait, this is a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Because some of these kills are a lot more violent, and I wouldn't really say graphic. I mean, I guess there was a lot more violence shown on screen than the first movie's kills had. But that was definitely something that this movie increased upon, and as well with the tension in some of the scenes and just the overall feeling of dread and horror in this movie was increased a lot more than what it was in the first film, which was something that I did really appreciate. Another thing that I will say, the score by the Newton brothers is something amazing. They did the score for the first movie and they did it for this one too, and they just always do an incredible job with whatever movies they're covering or making scores for. Now, I will say, for things that I did not like that much about the film, it felt very overstuffed. That's a problem with a lot of video game movies, at least, because I know for shows, things like Fallout and Last of Us, they don't have this problem, but video game movies in general, just feel very overstuffed, and this one definitely felt like that. It felt like they were trying to combine too much and too many plot lines, and just too much in, such a short span of time. Don't get me wrong, this movie was about 2 hours long, but it still just felt overstuffed with a lot of different ideas and characters. And some of the characters show up, and then they don't really have much to do in the movie. And that's just always an issue that I have with video game films. I think I even said this in the first one, that movie felt overstuffed. This one definitely just feels overstuffed again, but it is what it is for this movie. I mean, it's the Five Nights at Freddy's series. There's so much lore and just stuff that's part of the canon in that game universe that there's never not going to be an overstuffed Five Nights at Freddy's movie. And I'm sure when FNAF 3 comes out, because I know that one's probably going to come out at some point, that when I review that movie, I'll probably say that one was overstuffed. Unless it's like a 5-hour long movie, because, geez, you'd need a lot of time to cover that. I don't think a Five Nights at Freddy's TV show would work either, but I don't want to get off into rambling. We're talking about the movie. And another thing I'll say that I didn't really like was Vanessa's character. Now, I didn't really understand her inclusion in the first movie, because it was just like, wait, you're from the newer games, why are you in this? and she's in the movie, and then in this one, she's kind of just like having this whole like trauma arc thing of trying to get over her dad, who, spoilers, in the first film is revealed to be William Afton's daughter. And then they decided to throw in Michael Afton in this movie as well, and his character kind of just felt kind of shoehorned in there, and I didn't really understand that at all. But yeah, that's just overall my thoughts about that. But other than that, this movie was really good. I appreciate the score, the kills, and all the designs of the animatronics are very good. And I will add this in here. I went into this movie not expecting the best voice acting for the toy animatronics, especially when I heard that Megan Fox was going to be in this. Because I was like, oh no. Because I played Mortal Kombat 1, I know how she sounded as Nitara. But she honestly did a good job, and so did Matt Pat and all the other voice actors for the animatronics in this movie. Now, for my favorite scene of the film, I'll say it's the scene when McKenna Grace and her camera operating crew go into the restaurant and get killed by the animatronics, because that scene just had me shocked and on the edge of my seat the whole time. But yeah, that's my review for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. If I have to give this movie a rating, I will give it an 8.5 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.